Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We have more gaming and PlayStation news, rumors and leaks to go over. If you enjoyed today's video, please show your support by hitting that like button, and don't forget to tune into the PlayStation podcast every Sunday at 7 PM. So we have some major news about the PlayStation 5 Pro and the PlayStation 6. So Sony is quietly laying the foundation for what could be a major leap forward in the console gaming space, and they're doing it with a bit of help from tech giant AMD. In a recent interview with Tom's Guide, Mark Cerny, the lead architect behind the PlayStation 5, revealed some new details about what's happening going forward. A powerful new update is coming to the PlayStation 5 Pro in 2026, and it's centered around the next gen upscaling technology, FSR 4. Now, for a while there were talks about PSSR evolving to the next version, so a PSSR 2.0. However, this news coming out suggests that the PSSR technology is going to be replaced completely by FSR 4. Now, if you're not familiar, FSR 4 stands for FidelityFX Super Resolution, and it's AMD's answer to NVIDIA's DLSS, which is a kind of AI-driven upscaling used in high-end PC gaming to improve image quality and frame rate without overloading the system. Basically, it makes games look better and run smoother, all without needing more powerful hardware. Sony's current upscaling technology, called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short, has already been used on the PlayStation 5 Pro to improve graphics in certain games. But with FSR 4, Sony is taking a big step forward. Cerny says this won't just be a watered down version for consoles either. It'll be the full featured high performance version of FSR 4, just like what AMD has already released for PC. It's being fine-tuned specifically for the PlayStation 5 Pro and is expected to roll out sometime next year. And what's more, this development is part of a larger collaboration between Sony and AMD known as Project Amethyst. Now, this is a joint engineering project focused on pushing the limits of machine learning in gaming, not just for graphics though, but for overall gameplay performance. So what is Project Amethyst really about? According to AMD's Jack Hyun, there are two main goals. The first is to design hardware that can handle machine learning tasks, specifically for gaming. In other words, they want to build chips and systems that are smart enough to enhance games in real time. The second goal is to develop advanced neural networks that can drive better in-game graphics. This means using AI to handle things like real-time lighting, reflections, and frame generation, freeing up the console's resources for other tasks. This shift towards AI-powered graphics isn't just a fancy experiment, it's something Sony and AMD are already making happen. Technologies like PSSR and now FSR 4 show how far they've come, delivering cleaner visuals and smoother gameplay without needing bigger, more expensive hardware. As Jack from AMD puts it, this isn't just theory, it's a co-engineered reality. But they're not stopping there. Looking further ahead, AMD is also working on something called FSR Redstone, which will bring even more advanced features like AI-powered frame generation and ray regeneration. These features would allow for even more lifelike visuals and better performance, all handled through smart software and hardware working together. And while Sony hasn't officially announced the PS6, the writing is on the wall. Some insiders like Digital Foundry have suggested that the next generation PlayStation will need at least 24 gigabytes of RAM just to support all this machine learning technology itself. And while we don't have a confirmed release date, former Sony executive Shuhei Yoshida hinted that 2028 could be a realistic launch window. That would actually follow Sony's usual pattern. Looking back, the PlayStation 3 launched in 2006, followed by the PlayStation 4 in 2013, and then the PlayStation 5 in 2020. That puts each generation roughly 7 years apart, give or take. So if things go according to the same timeline, the PlayStation 6 could arrive around 2027 or 2028. But it is important to remember that the last few years has been anything but typical. The COVID-19 pandemic hit right as the PlayStation 5 launched, and it caused major supply chain issues that lasted for years. Even now, the way we upgrade consoles feels different than before. We no longer jump from low-resolution graphics to HD or from discs to download. Instead, consoles are starting to evolve more like PCs, with mid-generation refreshes and a bigger focus on software improvements. For example, the PlayStation 5 brought in some great features like the DualSense controller, which added immersive haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. It also improved load times dramatically. Those are the kind of innovations that Sony will probably look to build on when the PlayStation 6 arrives. Rather than focusing on just power, they'll be trying to improve the overall experience, how games feel, how fast they run, and how much they can do with the AI-driven tools. Interestingly, Sony has also dropped hints about launching the new handheld device that could come alongside the PlayStation 6. While we don't know for sure, there's growing speculation that this handheld could be powerful enough to run PlayStation 5 games. That would only be possible if it relies on smart technologies like PSSR or its replacement FSR 4 to reduce the load on the hardware while keeping the performance high. All of this points to one thing: Sony's next generation hardware, including the highly anticipated PlayStation 6, is likely to be built with machine learning at its core, and by offloading complex graphical tasks to AI systems, consoles of the future could offer dramatic improvements in performance, visual fidelity, and even battery life, especially if handheld gaming is involved. And that brings us to another big rumor floating around, and that a PlayStation 6 handheld could play full PlayStation 5 games. Again, it's not officially confirmed. The idea makes sense if you think about how efficient upscaling technologies like PSSR or FSR 4 could make it possible. A portable device running current generation titles would need that kind of intelligent software to keep everything smooth and visually impressive without draining the power. And Sony reportedly has been working on the PlayStation 6 since shortly after the PlayStation 5 was released in 2020, though they've only recently started talking more openly about it. And according to PlayStation system architect Mark Cerny, AMD is making very fast progress on their graphics innovations, but even so, it's still a few years away before the PlayStation 6 becomes a reality. And in Cerny's interview, Cerny mentioned that he's planning for the next generation on a multi-year timeline, which means the PlayStation 6 is still pretty early on in development. His team is focusing on laying the groundwork now so that when the time comes, the hardware, software, and new technologies will be ready to go. So it's kind of becoming clearer that the next generation of gaming won't just be about better graphics. It's going to be about flexibility, smarter performance, and AI-powered experiences. All these pieces come together. It sounds like the PlayStation 6 could be the smartest console Sony's ever made, not just the most powerful. So guys, let me know what you think of this. When do you think the PlayStation 6 will be released? Are you more excited about a handheld PlayStation or the new AI-powered technologies? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.